Dr. Billy Graham, ironically, needs less introducing in the modern world than would, say, St. Paul of Tarsus. But if only to observe convention, be it noted that he was born in 1918, was graduated from the Florida Bible Institute and then from Wheaton College, was ordained in 1940, became nationally famous in 1949 and internationally famous a year or two later. He is the founder of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, whose headquarters are in Minneapolis. It is estimated that 39 million people have heard him preach. He has written 4 books. He writes daily newspaper columns and broadcasts over 900 radio stations. He is married and has 4 children, and he believes that Richard Nixon is an act of God. More accurately, he believes that it is among his duties to counsel presidents of the United States, and so often does he preach in the White House for President Nixon, among others, that he has been dubbed the first White House chaplain. Notwithstanding his own success, it would appear to be obvious that Christianity, and indeed all religions, are on the decline. But today we propose to focus on Christianity specifically and the reasons for its decline. I should like to begin by asking Dr. Graham whether any scientific finding or development during his lifetime has either strained his faith or rendered it more difficult for him to preach the Christian gospel.
No, I would rather say it has been the other way. I think that the scientific achievements of our generation have tended to confirm the Christian faith. And I think that this is true and can be substantiated by statistics among polls that have been taking place among scientists. You know that 75% of all scientists that have ever lived live now. And of that 75%, about 60% say that they believe in a personal God. And when you have scientists like Dr. Elmer Engstrom of RCA, and you have Dr. Werner von Braun, and many of these scientists who are out teaching the Christian faith, this was not true when I started. When I started, the number of scientists believing in God at that time was estimated to be about 25%. And I think many of the great scientific achievements have tended to confirm the fact of God in the minds of many scientists and lead many of them to a personal faith.
Well, how would you would you call it a scientific achievement, let's say the discovery of the hydrogen bomb or the atomic bomb? That is to say, how would you integrate that in an evangelism which must have meaning for current skeptics?
Well, I think that, for example, in the Bible, it would be very difficult to understand the 3rd chapter of 2 Peter 50 years ago. I think it would have been very difficult to understand the 18th chapter of Revelation 50 years ago. But since the advent of the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb, we now see that man has at his disposal weapons that could bring all of these prophetic things about. And the second thing is that I think this has made man realize that we live under the shadow of the bomb. We're on the edge of a precipice. We realize really how fragile mankind really is, and that man does need God. He needs God, and he needs faith, because history doesn't give us much encouragement that the human race can survive with these terrifying weapons. And indeed, the Bible says the human race would not survive were it not for the intervention of God.
Well, how do you account then for the disparity of your own and other people's experience? You and others have come closer to a belief in God, and specifically in the Christian God, as a result of the tumultuous affairs of this century, whereas others, also sensitive men, have gone in the opposite direction. There are some, I think of one in particular who used to be a theologian, who says that he could no longer believe in God after Buchenwald. Now, I'm asking you not, therefore, simply to repeat what you have said, but to explain why it is that other people strain this material through their own minds and consciences and come to exactly opposite conclusions, thinking that no God they would want to respect would permit to happen such things as have happened in our time.
I think that this point is exactly right. I think that many people have been thrown off by the terrible sufferings and the overwhelming problems that have been created in our generation, but this is precisely a fulfillment of what the Bible itself teaches. Because the Bible teaches that our problems originate from the fact that man, since the Garden of Eden, has been in rebellion against God. Now, I personally hold the view that there are beings on other planets. But I believe that this is the only planet in rebellion against God.